Hello friends. I'm excited to have you here in my kitchen. Today I'll be showing you how I make a delicious egusi soup. So I have my castor seed, also known as ukbei, and egusi, dried egusi that has already been blended. I have my palm oil beef as well, and then onions, bell peppers, and what you also call tatashi in this part of the country or this part of the world. And then I have my bitter leaf, salt and seasoning cubes, crayfish, very important in Nigerian delicacies or Nigerian soup. And then we have our stockfish and blackfish, or what we call dry fish. Okay, so now I'm going to be steaming my meat in its juice for about 10 to 15 minutes. Okay, in there I have my onion, seasoning cubes, and salt to taste. Right, it's important that you steam your meat for the first few minutes in its own juice before going in with water and other ingredients you like to add. So next I'll be putting in my stockfish just so that it can boil properly. Okay, I've washed it perfectly. Okay, note, wash your stockfish. Right, I use lukewarm water to wash mine, and I'm just tossing it into the pot, and then I'm going to be adding water so that I can get enough stock to use to make the soup. Right, and just so that the stockfish and the meat can boil properly. So the meat is actually ready, and now I'll go in with my dry fish or the blackfish, and you stir continuously and allow to cook. Now in another pot I would have to heat up my oil. Not bleach your oil, please just heat it up for a few minutes under low heat, and then you can add your pepper mixture. I blended my bell peppers and this is what it looks like. So I'm just going to go in with it into the oil and then stir. All right, it's important that you stir so that it doesn't burn, and also do this on medium heat, please, very important. All right, so you keep stirring, allow to boil for some few minutes, then you go back to it and stir again, just to make sure that it gets dry. And before you can add any other thing, ensure that the pepper mixture is dry. Okay, now I'll be adding a little bit of Maggi or seasoning cube and salt so that we can have a tasty foundation or background as I choose to call it for this meal. Next I'll be going in with my ukbei. I don't like, some people like to melt it in water, but I just prefer squeezing mine like this and then using the spoon to just melt it in the soup. I feel that it's easier that way, but do what works for you. Now this is my egusi. I'm mixing it in water, specifically hot water, not so hot, lukewarm water, and I just want to get it into a paste form before I add it, and just to make sure that every lump and is a little bit smooth. Now I'm going in with the egusi paste, as you can see, putting it one step at a time in the dried pepper mixture, and this is what I'll continue to do until I have all the egusi paste in there. It's also called melon seed, just so you know. It's also called melon seed. In case you don't know what egusi is, you can ask for melon seed. Now I'm going to add my crayfish at this point, and I would also like to state that during the course of the during the course of the cooking rather, if you feel that the crayfish is not enough, you can add more. And I'm going in with my meat stock now. My meat is ready, so I just had to drain out the water, and that is what I'm currently using for the soup mixture at this point. So I will turn it and allow to cook. When you start seeing the bubbles, sizzling bubbles, you know that your egusi is almost ready. You can now go in with your meat and more meat stock if you have, or you can add a little bit of water at this point. Just turn it, turn it, turn it. The aroma at this point is divine. Oh my goodness. So I'm turning it, and I'll leave it to cook for a few minutes, and then as you can see, the bubbles, the oil is actually on the surface now. So beautiful and delicious. The smell, the taste, or will I say the aroma, is heavenly and divine. Now I'm just putting in my bitter leaf, right? You can choose to use ugu, you can choose ugu or kale or pumpkin leaf, as they call it in English. That's the ugu leaf, is also known as pumpkin leaf. You can use that. I'm just turning it, and wow, our soup is ready. So I'm tasting just to make sure that everything is on point, and I noticed that there was no pepper, so I had to add a bit of dried pepper. We love pepper in our house. You can choose to do what suits you and your family. All right, so I'm just going to turn it. At this point, I'm salivating, guys. I'm really salivating. I just want to eat. So the soup is ready. You can serve with any swallow of your choice, and there you have it. Easy peasy way to make fried egusi. And I think this, with this method, it preserves for a longer time, so you can choose to do what works for you. Remember to like, subscribe, leave a comment, and just look at how beautiful it looks. Try this and let me know what you think. Thank you for watching. Bye.